Hello, is this thing on? Alright, just a little test. Okay, so, what's good, y'all? So today we're finna be talking about languages, you know what I'm saying? Buenos dias, bonjour, or whatever else, you know what I'm saying? That's all I can remember right now, just off the top. But I like to, spring this little thinker, you know what I'm saying? That's what I can call it. It's like there's another word for it. But just a question or just a statement that gets your mind running while you're watching this. So, what I always wondered is how a person who speaks in the language thinks in their head, right? So, I kind of answered that myself, where it's like I came to a conclusion that they think in their own language. You know what I'm saying? Because for the most part, I speak English, and anything I think about, it will be in English. You know what I'm saying? So, I also start, as I'm starting to learn different languages and whatnot, I know what that word is when I think about that word in that language. So, it should be the same in their head as, let's say I'm speaking English in my head. Let's say somebody speaks French, and they'll think in French in their head as well. You know what I'm saying? So, let's get to the meat of this. So, languages are fascinating. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. They're very universal, and there's so many different languages that we barely even get a full grasp on how many languages there really are. You know what I'm saying? That in each country, there's probably going to be a few different, dialects and different sub connections and different words for each and every language that is within one of these countries and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, we have some flags on my languages thing, because I feel like that represents how these different countries, and when you look at these flags, they're going to speak a different language. You know what I'm saying? And that's so fascinating. That's so cool to me. So as I move forward, I just want to, give a little bit about what I grew up around. You know what I'm saying? I grew up around a lot of Spanish for the most part, most of my life. And I'm still not, completely fluent. But, off the top of my head, I know a few words, and I know, different things. And I know a few things in different other languages. You know what I'm saying? I know a little bit of Japanese, a little bit of Italian, a little bit of French, a little bit of Spanish. And for the most part, that is, some of the core languages I know, a few words from, because of course you're not fluent, but for the most part, everybody knows something about a different language. And maybe whether it be a word, whether it be, something, what I'm saying? And we can all take that into us and be like, okay, we know this in this language. And, that's just is what it is. And especially being from America, such a melting pot. So we are always introduced to so many different cultures and dialects and languages that, it's hard not to know any of these things, you know what I'm saying? But, the fluency, aspect is, the more difficult route in, language speaking, or speaking in different tongues and being bilingual or polyglot, you know what I'm saying? But if you have the right mind, right headspace, and you're practicing, it's definitely possible. And, I just want to give a shout out to, language YouTubers as well, too, the ones that have passed and the ones that are still with us now. You know what I'm saying? They really bring that motivation to want to speak more, because you see who they're interacting with, and you see them light up when they know somebody else different can't speak their own language. You know what I'm saying? And that really, stuck and struck with me, that, you know what I'm saying, if I put enough effort into this, I can make people feel a lot better. You know what I'm saying? But it does take some time to really learn the language, And, I feel like in my life, I want to learn at least 5 to 7 off the top of my head. I even like the random little languages that are not really known. I want to at least have some type of knowledge on those, you know what I'm saying? But I'm working to be fluent, you know what I'm I'm saying? Because it's so many possibilities, and I just, want to make people feel all right. And I can actually communicate with people and be able to speak my mind in different languages instead of just my language, you know what I'm saying? Where it can get lost to people. People will be lost from talking. But to another topic, the language barrier. This affects so much. It affects a lot. So let me kind of define the language barrier. Whereas, let's say we have two people, for example. One speaks a language, and another person speaks a different language. They're not going to be able to accurately communicate because they don't know each other's languages, So that whole disruption and misinformation between that, we call that a language barrier, where you're not able to accurately communicate with this other person because you can't speak their language and they can't speak yours. And there are many solutions, and there are, simple solutions. And for the most part, sometimes there isn't in certain situations, but there are solutions nonetheless where y'all either learn languages or y'all communicate in different ways that y'all may know, both of y'all may know. But I brought up this topic to kind of highlight, the arrogance as of being from America. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of anger behind not understanding a different language, where so you see a lot of Americans bring up English over another language that they don't know, where they feel threatened or they feel insecure in a different way, so they act out, aggressively. And me personally, I get insecure as well, but it's an insecure of like, I don't already know. You know what I'm saying? And it's about accommodating to that person, or accommodating to me to be able to know their language, accurately speak with them, or be able to pick up on little things if they're saying something, but that's just me. It's not like an anger thing where I'm like angry at them that they don't speak my language. It's like, dang, I can't speak that language right now, so I feel like dumb, you know what I'm saying? And that's probably the way they feel, but they act a different way about it, because it does make you feel like, man, maybe I should learn their language, or maybe I should be able to speak to them right now, because I only have my language right now or something, or I have limited knowledge on their language, But, bringing up the language barrier, it's heavily, tied together with ignorance. A lot of people get ignorant over not knowing other languages, and it's very sad to see that, because it breaks a lot of connection between you and another person just because you don't understand what they're saying, or you don't try to. You know what I'm saying? It's very bad. But another topic I want to bring up is lost languages. Languages that we don't even know have changed over time, or have been around for so long that they kind of dictate our language now. You know what I'm saying? It's so universal, and it's so picked apart. It's so translated in so many different ways that we don't even know if the language or English we speak now is the same English from 50 or 100 years ago. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that get twisted and turned into new things that it's so amazing to think about, but it's so hard to sit down and try to decipher something from the past, because it was translated to be, more accessible to us now. You know what I'm saying? Because the language of, let's say, it's Spanish, for example. Spanish now is different from Spanish 200 years ago. You know what I'm saying? All these, let's say Egyptians or Aztecs, they probably had certain languages that they spoke, and those languages are completely different than what we can try to decipher now. Or a lot of translations are, translated into English, and they may have totally different meanings in the, in the root language that was used. And it really kind of strengthens me and propels me to try and learn these, root languages, or languages that are what they are, and learn what it is before trying to get like an English translation where it could be all misconstrued and turned around, and you know what I'm saying. So it's about getting back to accommodation and to the root of everything. So that's what languages are, you know what I'm saying. They're very important as well, because that's how we communicate. And where would it be if we couldn't communicate with our voice or with languages, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, there's so many, lost works of art, lost works in everything, because things were translated in from different languages that are probably lost right now. Nobody probably speaks these languages, because these languages are, over 500 years old, possibly, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of things get lost in translation because they're trying to be more accommodating to us now. But we should try to try to go back and learn these languages and understand the meaning from the root. And that's how I believe, and that's how I feel that I'm trying to do a lot of things where, let's say I hear this book was translated into or this book was written in the older language. I'm going to try to learn some words from that older language that it is now, and try to go back and decipher with what I know, and that's what I'm trying to do with a lot of things right now. And, it's exciting, and it's a great thing to have languages, man. And it wouldn't be no world without them. And, that's why I'm trying to push myself to learn some more, to be able to be fluent one day, and, live out a dream of some sort of being able to communicate with people and, be able to talk to people in their language and actually see what they're thinking about, you know what I'm saying? Because I can actually communicate with them now. So it would be amazing. And, you know what I'm saying? Language is fascinating. Point blank. Bow. So, that's y'all. Adios. I'm gonna be out. It's been choosing. Peace.